going to demonstrate my Quarterstaff Titan stun build. I'm going to do the map in case I die and I have to re-record. But, demonstrate. 13 because that's the quest. The gist of it is glass and,
I can't yet!
Armor because I instantly break armor on stun and I almost instantly stun pretty much everything. It's really strong. It's not very fast. And I have to here, so I should be better. As you can see, I'm also using maybe it's not actually really fast. But I'm trying to demonstrate this because really fun build I put together. And maybe you want to switch to this if you're like not enjoying this, the very slow slams, because obviously the Wind attack. It's not gonna. You guys can't hits. Wind Blast is kind of have some jank to it. So that's the one negative I would say. Play is back down, but it's got pretty long range. It's like you're playing a range. You used to before they nerfed the armor explosion.
In the right hands, this could forge something truly exceptional.
I'm probably wondering why Titan Quarterstaff. Like, how are you pulling it off? Do you have a bunch of dex and int? How are you using all the strength base? Well, this is because I'm stacking strength. I'm using the unique gloves. Dorvinger, I'm down to you outside the map, but basically what they do is they let you use strength for melee weapons and melee weapons. Which is really awesome. I saw that item and I was like, I'm gonna do something with this. And really the only other melee skills you can do are monk skills. And then I was looking through them and like, what would be good for a warrior? Like, there's not really a lot of good elemental nodes for warrior types. And why would you just not play monk? And I noticed not a lot of fun. The elemental ones are just broken. But I thought, oh, these all have an absurd amount of stun built into their kit. And Titan likes to stun things. Primes for stun. And all that jazz. So I was like, I'm gonna do that. And then at first I was planning to do like a real combo base with like Wind Blast to Daze into Revolving Impact to break their armor. And then use it's called Whirling Assault. I don't use it. I found it was clunky and it didn't do that much damage. Okay, so here's the boss. So, as you'll see in a second.
Stay back! Don't do this! Hammer of the
Hammer the
God!
I want this one. kind of had to do a lot of dodging. Most bosses I kind of one shot
favors me.
or two shot with Hammer of the Gods. So that's my build. I demonstrated in a map. Let me show you quickly my passive tree. I did it myself, so I don't know how optimized it actually is. The big thing that I find really powerful is you can instantly break any enemy's armor with a combination of Shattering Blow, which is break 50% of armor and heavy stunning an enemy, and combining that with a exactly, well, it has to be over 100% break increased armor. So I have 25 here, 10 here, 40 here, so that's 75, and then I have another 40 here. So I go over a little bit over 100, but then I can get these points, which are nice. Doing that instantly breaks armor, and that causes the armor explosion on my Wind Blast. Otherwise, a lot of two-handed stun nodes. I go Resolute Technique. You could arguably go crit because quarterstaffs do have pretty high base crit, except I just didn't want to deal with accuracy, so I decided not to. The thing I'd use to get damage is I use Rage with Berserk. It's like, so I have 48 max Rage, and then so that's like 70 something more attack damage from that. I'll show you my gems. I use Wind Blast, and right now I'm using Martial Tempo because it does have a 75 of base attack speed, which kind of feels bad. I use Heft, Overpower, and Armor Explosion. I'd probably swap Armor Explosion out if I was doing like a Pinnacle boss or something. Overpower is just to build up stun faster on rares. So you could probably use, I should try, I've been meaning to try a Ruthless, which is every 5th attack does 500% more. But I just feel like this just feels nice. If I got another slot, it'd be extra damage. Herald of Ash, Vaulting Impact. I use Fist of War on this because I find I use it often. If you saw it, I use it every once in a while. If you stun something and then it combines, what I like about Vaulting Impact is it's actually a slam. So it combines with Seismic Cry. So you can use Seismic Cry with Vaulting Impact, and it'll create an aftershock, and it does good damage. I use it on rares most of the time. Although sometimes it can kill you because it does kind of have a bit of a travel time, which can be dangerous. I use a Shockwave Totem because you can use it with any martial weapon. Basically, it's just a Font of Blood, Font of Rage thing. I just kind of throw it up every once in a while for a little bit extra healing and a little bit of rage generation. And then Ancestral Urgency just makes it really fast. I use Overwhelming Presence. Pretty self-explanatory, reduces stun threshold on enemies, so that's really good. I use Cannibalism and Clarity, and I'm also using Scavenge Plating because I pretty much always have this up during mapping because every attack breaks armor, essentially. Except if it's on a rare, it might take a couple attacks. Seismic Cry, like I described, it just adds shockwaves, and then Hammer of the Gods. So I have a weapon swap, Hammer of the Gods, just for mainly for bosses. It's just so much damage. It's really hard to ignore, and you just have so many synergies with it. And then Berserk gives me some leech. It does. During my life, I don't feel like it's ever really put me in too much danger. And then lastly, my gear is not very good. The most important piece of gear is the Jarngreipr. It is pretty low level. its stats are not good. So you're trading a glove slot to be able to use stabs with strength. And then I just have a pretty high fizz quarterstaff. I do want to upgrade this at some point. That's like the big. I would probably say it's probably not my next big thing because like all my armor is pretty trash. I'll just kind of hover over it. It's not good. I do recommend the reason I run all the buffs I run is because I have an amulet with 46 spirit, which is really nice. But the rest of my gear is pretty trash. The only forewarning I'll give you about this build is while this is strength can satisfy other attribute requirements of melee weapons and melee skills, that's to equip them and it's not to upgrade them. I don't know if it's a bug with GGG, but you either have to equip items so you have enough dex and int to upgrade it. I have taken these gems, whenever I needed to level them up, I take them out and I go to a different character that has dex and int and level them up there. It's really frustrating. I hope that gets changed. But it's like you don't have the required attributes because technically you don't. I just don't think it's an oversight, or so I don't think you could ever league start this even with these being pretty cheap and not very rare. As far as Ascendancy go, I forgot to talk about this. These two are kind of the core of why you would go, why I chose Titan. So Crushing Blows, heavy stun on enemies that are primed for stun. That you stun things so much faster with this, and then when they're stunned, you just do more damage to them, right? It's fairly simple. It's not a complicated setup. Right now, I have Mysterious Lineage because I only have my 3 points. I will when I get my 4th, I will respec this to get Hulking Form. There's just so many good small passive nodes that you take. Damage, defense, rage on hit. There's so much more stun build up. It's kind of insane. I mean, there's a reason the node is behind classic capacity. I don't need to explain much more than that. So I've already probably jabbered on too long, so I'm going to stop. Thank you for watching my video.